Okay, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Meet the Students session from the Institute of Continuing Education at the University of Cambridge. My name is Chris Huggins, so I'm Director of Academic Programmes within the Institute of Continuing Education, and I've got oversight over a lot of the MST programmes that we offer. And we're here this evening with a collection of students studying our various programs, really to give you a bit of an insight into what their learning experience is like, to answer your questions about applying for a course, studying a course, and really to sort of get their sense about what it's like to be a part-time master's student here at the University of Cambridge. I'll start by going round the students on our panel just so they can introduce you, give you a bit of detail about what courses they're studying and their experience, and then we'll launch into questions. So if you've got any questions for us during this evening's session, you can use the question and answer function or the Q&A function on Zoom. So please do put any questions that you might have into the Q&A function, and we'll try our best to pick as many of those up as we can. But some of you have already sent in some questions in advance, and we'll probably start off with those to get the discussion going. So I'll just do some introductions. Angie, if we can start with you, please.
Sure. Thank you very much, Chris. And hi, everybody. It's great to be here with you tonight or today, whenever you're watching this. So my name is Angie Watson. I'm currently based in London, but I'm actually from South Africa. And I have joined the AI Ethics and Society master's degree with Cambridge. And I'm in my second year at the moment. And really what brought me to this particular course was a burning question that I'd been holding for about 6 or 7 years and was longing to answer that question. And there really wasn't a course that had been designed when I started with that question that many years ago. And I was doing a different degree at the time, and they didn't have a space for me to answer or pursue that question. And that question was very much around AI ethics. And at the time, it was quite a nascent field. It's still obviously quite an emerging field. And I came really when this course was offered to try and explore that further. And my question lay at the intersection of psychology and philosophy. And through this course, I've been able to explore so many more dimensions of AI ethics. And I'm looking forward to being able to answer some of the questions tonight, Chris.
Thanks, Angie. A really nice summary of your motivation of what led you to study. Callum, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, please.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name's Callum. I study and studied creative writing at Madingley Hall in Cambridge. I studied during 2019 to 2021. I specified in writing for children, and so recently I've moved to Scotland to take full advantage of that, as the children's publishing scene up here is very strong. I've recently won the Kelpies Prize for Writing, which is a competition held by Discover Kelpies, which are the largest children's publisher in Scotland. And testament to the course, I don't feel I would have been in the position to enter, let alone be placed in that competition, if it wasn't for ICE and all the teaching staff at Madingley Hall.
Thank you, Callum, and congratulations on your prize. Christina, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Absolutely. So, hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Christina. I am currently a part-time master's student in coaching here at Cambridge University. I've just started this September. I am based in Switzerland. I am an education consultant, and I've been doing that for over 12 years now. I am also a global education consultant for Hanlon Partners. I am a CEO and founder of a couple of startups, also in education, and a certified coach. So my kind of motivation to join this program was that I always wanted to pursue second master degree, and the latest master's I've did was 10 years ago. And I've been developing professionally all these years, but I always had this feeling that I need to have the second one for what I'm doing professionally now, which is coaching young adults, helping them to choose the right educational paths, the right career paths. And I've been looking for a program that would allow me to do so, a program with a very renowned institution for a couple of years. And that's how I found this master's degree with Cambridge. And yeah, that's kind of my story.
Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And Nikki, if we can introduce you, please.
Thank you. Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm Nikki and I'm a student in the second year of the MST in history, which is the research year. So what led me to apply for the course was that I did a history undergraduate degree as a extracurricular activity outside of my day job in financial services. And I finished that in 2022, and I really enjoyed it, in particular the dissertation and the research that I did for that, where I was looking at original primary sources and answering research questions. So I decided to apply for a master's that I could do part-time while still working full-time, and which would give me more experience of research. I did a lot of looking around at different courses, but when I saw this one, it had everything that I wanted. It was the perfect combination of the university itself, teaching time, and a supervised dissertation where I could build on the research skills that I had learned during my undergraduate study. The first year of my course is taught, and the second year, like I said, is a research year. My experience of studying has been very rewarding, and I've met some great people, and I'm very much enjoying it.
Thank you, Nikki. So we've got a wide-ranging panel here of students studying a range of different courses, different international contexts, different backgrounds, and going on to different things as well. So please do, as I say, as we get through this session, make use of that Q&A session. If you've got any particular questions, do use that functionality. But we're going to start with a couple of questions that have been sent in ahead of time. And actually, this nicely follows on from the point Nikki was talking around about managing work while study as well. So the work-study balance. So the question is, I'm keen to understand what the experience has been for other students in terms of their work-study balance. With demanding professional careers, how have they ensured academic study gets the time it deserves? For example, have you had to reduce working hours to go part-time? So I think we'll go in reverse order this time. So Nikki, as you sort of link to this straight away, if you could help us answer this question, please.
Yeah, no problem. So I continue to work full time. I have quite a demanding job. So I work in credit for a bank, a specialist bank, which is essentially about, who gets accepted for loans and who gets declined and that sort of thing. So I haven't reduced my hours. I've carried on working in the same way. It really is about planning well and making the most of the time that you have available to you. So I choose to do something on my course every day. I'm a really thorough and committed planner. So at the start of every week, I write down what I will do every day of that week. So if there is a day where I know that I won't get home from work until 7 in the evening, for example, I know I'll be tired. So I'll give myself fewer tasks that don't require as much brain power. And then on the weekend, when I have more time and a clearer head, I can plan to do the more detailed work, which includes a lot of the writing. And what I would say as well is, so the first year of my course, there were sort of 3 essays to do after each individual module. I found it helpful to start them as early as possible, as you will want to do a lot of reading for them. So I picked my essay question from the list well before the residential to give myself enough time to cover the work. So I didn't wait to have the lecture on the topic. I picked a question that I liked the look of, basically, and that I knew I would be interested in.
Thank you. Christina, how about your thoughts? How are you managing the work-life balance?
Absolutely. So that was actually probably one of the first questions I had when I was attending a session like that prior to joining the program. So I do understand your concern. But again, as mentioned, I am an entrepreneur, but I have two startups that I'm developing. I have my own education and consulting. I work as global education consultant for Henley & Partners, and I'm doing this master's. I also travel a lot, every month, several destinations at least. But I feel like I haven't experienced any particular problem yet. In fact, I was thinking that the program will be much more time demanding. Maybe it's because I'm quite used to having a lot on my plate, and I'm very used to read a lot. I am quite used to academic writing. So I think that what you need to really know about any part-time program with the University of Cambridge is that it's very much about your personal time management and your personal sense of commitment. It's all about how much you on your own want to have from this program, and it's very much about your individual work. So if you just know how to manage your time, even if you're a full-time kind of like, if you have a full-time job, I think that it's essential to just know when your residentials are and to plan ahead. But then really, you know, it depends on how you work, how you study. But I feel that it's you can really do it without having a feeling that it's too overwhelming. So I'd say that if you're very interested, if you're ready for this next step, I think that you just very much enjoy it, and you'll definitely have time to do the all of the work that has to be done. That's my feeling.
Thanks, Christina. Callum, how about you?
Yes. Well, as I mentioned, I specialised in writing for children, and that's because I worked with children. So I've been working for children for about 10 years in a university setting, even in residential settings, children's publishing as a tutor. So I guess for me, with creative writing, you can write anywhere, but with a more practical or vocational role, it did help to manage my time working roles full and part-time over those 2 years. But it did help to focus more and work more in roles that were away from the keyboard, because as the 2 years were quite intensive, writing a lot of the time, it helps if the day job was away from the keyboard, so you weren't, all fuzzy-eyed before you start beginning your novel or your poem or your screenplay. But what I would say regarding my experience is that the second year was during lockdown. So all the students on my cohort there were given absolutely fantastic support regarding the management of their time. So I wouldn't have any fear in managing your time. As I said, during the pandemic, we managed it there. It was tough, but the support was second to none. So yeah, don't fear the time management.
Thank you, Callum. And Angie, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say very much like probably, everybody else here, I haven't stopped my workload at work to be able to do my course. My work is very different, very much like Nikki. I work in fintech, which is completely different from my passion for AI ethics, like completely different. I'm not even looking at AI ethics in fintech. And so I read around my coursework entirely outside of my day job, and I haven't had to slow down my day job in order to make it work. I think if you're really passionate about it, you kind of make it work. But I don't want us to come across as saying like, well, just, if you manage your time, you'll just make it work. I think what's probably important to also mention is that the way the course is structured, ICE is very aware that this is a part-time course for very busy professionals, a bit like what everyone's been saying here. And the lecturers, your course coordinators are very aware of that. And so when they give readings, they're very aware of how much time you have to manage that. And a bit like what Nikki said, I also chose my essays at the beginning so that you can manage your time and your reading accordingly. so that you're reading more deliberately towards that, and not just reading like the entire everything, just almost without this discernment. So that in weeks that you are more busy, you're not just reading everything because you may not have the time. And so you can manage that, and the course is structured to allow you to do that. And I think that's just important to mention.
Thanks, Angie. So some really sort of interesting perspectives there, but I think some commonalities coming out, which is, you know, the first one, we try our best to ensure the courses are structured in such a way to enable you to engage, even if you do have quite demanding professional lives outside of study, but also the usual things around time management and you know, engaging with the course because it's your passion, because it's something that you want to understand and engage with. Thank you. We've got a couple of questions now which are sort of on a common theme of student community. So I'll read both questions and then I'll sort of bring you in to talk about those. So the first question we had sent in advance, which is, how can I best ensure I have the full Cambridge experience, especially since I'll be commuting to campus from a distance, such as the United States? We've obviously got students based all around the world. So how, despite the fact these are part-time courses, despite the fact students come from everywhere, how can we ensure we have that sense of community? And then another participant put a similar question in, sort of, do you feel you interact enough with faculty and classmates in terms of frequency and quality in order to really feel part of the programme and to feel part of Cambridge? So Callum, we'll get your take first.
Yes, I'd say yes. The student experience was different for everyone, but at no point, I would say, in my opinion, did anyone feel left out or of any sort of community. We had a fantastic and diverse range of students with a class size of around 18, each from a different culture, background, ethnicity, which was fantastic, especially in terms of creative writing and sharing different cultures and stories and what have you. Tied really nicely in. So the time we spent together, specifically for me, we were based at Madingley Hall. It was like a writing residency for 4.5 days, 4 times in year 1. So it was just like a real life murder mystery for all us budding writers. It was absolutely fantastic. All living together, eating together, talking about writing during the lectures and the seminars, but also over lunch, dinner, drinks. Really intense, but really enjoyable. Because of that, you get to know each other really quickly, and away from those writing groups and workshop groups that are built on your timetable, you quickly form friendship groups and support groups outside of this during your time in Cambridge and away, whether that's online or you meet up in Cambridge or elsewhere. Fantastic, I would say.
Angie, how about your experience here?
The murder mystery sounds like fun. So our course is a little bit bigger. So we've got, in our year, we have about 44 people in our course, and I know that that's grown somewhat. What I would say encouragingly is that even if you're joining a course that has quite a lot more than the creative writing group, it still does feel really close and engaging, and it does feel like a real Cambridge experience, because you are part of a college, and we have everyone come to the residentials, and you very much partake in the Cambridge experience. So being part of a college, you're able to go to the libraries, you're able to use all of Cambridge facilities. I'm sure people have become aware of that in other calls such as these. But we very much get to experience that. We have wonderful formal dinners at various colleges, which have been amazing. And I would say that our interaction with the faculty has been really, really warm, and very much in terms of the relationships we've had and we've created have been both supportive in terms of academically supportive, but also you form true friendships, very much like Callum has mentioned. And we've been able to do that even in a bigger group. Obviously, there's just probably more friendship groups, but they've been very, very rewarding and supportive. And you need that when you're working on a course like this over 2 years and part-time at a distance. And we've been able to do that whether you're coming from, you know, far distances. A lot of our course come from the US, all sorts of different countries and continents.
Thank you, Angie. Nikki, how about you?
Yes, so similar experience. I think that when you're on a part-time course like this, it is important to make an effort to create a community. You know, everyone is busy with their professional lives, with family commitments, etc. I mean, I've met some great people who I would otherwise never have met, with, you know, varied ages and life experience, who I really enjoy spending time with. We have a course WhatsApp group, so we can all keep in touch outside of the time we spend together in Cambridge. We arrange group calls so that we can have them as sort of check-ins to see how everyone is. And I speak to a couple of people one-on-one frequently about how research is going. So we do have a little support network that is formed. In terms of faculty support, that, I mean, it is great, to be honest. We have Matt and Sam, who are our course tutors. They're there. They provide support and advice. You also have a personal tutor assigned to you for the pastoral care side of things from your college. That's an interesting experience because, you know, you could have someone who does something completely different to your interests. So my personal tutor specializes in Algerian music, which I know nothing about. So it's always good to have those conversations. And you know, my supervisor, who I have for the second year for my research, I mean, she is great. And we keep in touch outside of supervisions frequently as well.
Thanks, Nikki. And Christina, how about you?
Yes, Christopher, very, very similar to everyone. But again, it's I think that these programs really give you freedom to engage as much or as little as you want. And myself being a class representative of our cohort is quite small because coaching and coaching psychology, it's only this second year that they're doing this. But again, people from all over the world. We have a lot of people from the UK, obviously, but we also have people from the US. I come from Switzerland. We have people from Hong Kong, so quite international. And I think that our group is really very much engaged. Like everyone is really there for a reason, and everyone wants to make the best out of these 2 years. And what we did, we created our separate group on WhatsApp where we interact like literally almost every day. Obviously, I found, you know, as everyone else found some people who they feel more connected to. And we also organize our separate calls to kind of like catch up and discuss how our essays are going and how is our dissertation is going and, you know, stuff like that. And I feel that we're very much engaged, and there is this opportunity to do so online while we're not in Cambridge. And then during the residentials, I mean, this is the time to really benefit from your time in Cambridge. And I think if you have an opportunity, you definitely want, you know, you will receive a University of Cambridge student card, which will give you an access to the most beautiful colleges in Cambridge. And I think it's so great to just, you know, your residential time will be very busy, which means literally every day from like 9 to, I don't know, 5 or 6, we had it every day. And then if you do have a chance, just maybe stay a little bit longer, like a couple of days longer, to really arrive earlier, to really give yourself this moment of realization that you are in Cambridge, and to just, you know, go and see the colleges, go and feel the atmosphere, go to see your college. And yeah, so I feel that obviously it's not a course where you are in Cambridge every day, but then I think that you still have a chance to really dive into this beautiful opportunity, but just make sure to spend maybe a little more time during the residentials to give yourself this moment of just engaging with the Cambridge community.
That's good advice, Christina. Thank you. Nikki and Angie both mentioned colleges and being part of a community, not only within your course team, but as part of a wider college. So as master's students studying at the University of Cambridge, you will all be members of a college, which provides you with a wider community. We've had a couple of questions come in on this, so it's a nice segue, if you like, to that. And the first question is, how did you decide which college to apply for? So, Christina, I'll come back to you, but which college are you a member of, and what determines that?
So I don't know how it worked for everyone else, but we were kind of like given the Homerton College as our top priority, and I don't think that anyone else would, just go ahead choosing any other specific college, because again, it's a part-time course, and I guess you don't really want to be divided from the main group. And I think that Homerton is just the main place for most of first of all postgraduate students and then part-time students. And it's a beautiful place, it's a beautiful college, and it's a very diverse college, which I really love about Homerton. Then I would say, I think you will have it in like the entry requirements and in the description of your program once you apply, and you'll see either a recommendation or a given that you should just choose this college. I think this is how it works.
Yeah, there's a really good point there, which is certain courses are aligned to certain colleges. So, and some courses you may have a bit more options, if you like, than others. Nikki, how about you? Which college are you a member of, and what, if anything, factored into your decision?
Yeah, so I'm a member of Wolfson College. For my course, we had a choice of 4. I picked Wolfson because of it's got a focus on mature students, but it's also quite informal. And I thought that the informality would be quite a good introduction to Cambridge life. I would feel more comfortable going down that route. And it's also very diverse. Unfortunately, because I live in Newport, which is in South Wales, it's about 3.5 hours drive from Cambridge. So I don't get to do as much in person at my college as I would like. I think it's really up to you and your individual circumstances as to how much you take part in college life. And I see from my university emails how much goes on at the college. And I really wish I could do more there because they really do try to create a community, and it looks great. However, Wolfson do have online workshops and programs. I'm attending one next week actually about postgraduate writing. So that's really helpful for me living at a distance.
Thanks, Nikki, and good to highlight there the mix of, I guess, pastoral support and community support college offers, but actually some of the academic support that they offer as well. Angie, how about you?
Sure. So for the AI Ethics and Society, we have 3 colleges that the course is affiliated with. So that's Hughes Hall, Lucy Cavendish, and St Edmund's College. And so when you apply, you can ask for one of those 3, and obviously to the extent that it's possible, there's a chance to try and get the choice that you've made. In terms of which college I belong to, I'm in Hughes Hall, and that was my first choice. And really, it was on the basis of a few factors. I wanted an older college, not for older people. I mean, one of the older colleges itself, and it was like, what's got more history? Because to me that was important, and Hughes Hall was one of the older of those 3. And then all of those are mature students, or leaning more towards the mature students, and that really actually makes quite a difference. And the porters there are fantastic. They're just lovely. And then what was also fantastic about Hughes Hall is that there's accommodation available. So what's great, and the other 2 don't have that necessarily available when you come and stay. So when we come for our residentials, the students that are part of Hughes Hall, we're actually able to stay at Hughes Hall, whereas most of our other cohort, they stay in Airbnb or stay in other accommodation, which is a bit of a pity. So for those of us that stay at Hughes Hall, it's just quite collegial, and we really enjoy that. I think similarly, there's all of the same sort of support in terms of academic support, pastoral support, a lot of online options in terms of being able to tap into those. I try and get up there, but I tend to go up to Cambridge for day trips for things that are available through my course and through CFI, so Centre for the Future of Intelligence, rather than directly for Hughes, to be honest. But those things are available online.
Thank you, Angie. Callum, how about you? What's your experience here?
Thank you. Yes, to echo what Nikki said slightly there, I was based a fair distance away from Cambridge. So not to dilute the meaning of what it is to become a member of a college, because I would say that I attended events everywhere. So I used my card to do events at Selwyn and everywhere else really, wherever the next writer was giving their talk or live lecture. But strangely enough, Eddie Williams, a writer, has published a few collections of short stories, judged blind, but judged a writing competition that I won, and I used that piece of writing for my application, and further researching further, I found out that she was a member of Selwyn College, which drew me there, as well as some other names there, as well as the architecture, and as well as practically, I know they were quite close together, but from Madingley Hall and to there was easy as well. But no, that card gets you into everywhere. So make the most of your college, but make the most of the university.
Thank you. And I'll just say from my point of view, we have, I guess we have relationships with NICE with, I would say a third of the colleges are open. So the ones you've mentioned, but we do work with Selwyn, we work with Fitzwilliam, I work with Murray Edwards, for example, but it will vary. I think as Christina highlighted, it will vary by course. So the options you have available to you will vary depending on the course that you go to. But there are important things to consider, such as, the facilities that they offer in terms of additional academic support, if that's something important for you. Wolfson are actually very well known for that, for example, whereas other colleges, as you say, are dedicated more towards mature students. So Wolfson, Hughes Hall and St Edmunds are the three dedicated mature student colleges, if you wanted to be part of a community that's focused around that. So lots of things to think about and consider there. Okay, thank you very much. Just, I guess the next thing linking to colleges is how much, I guess, support you receive from them, and from your tutor within your college. So for those who don't know, you'll obviously have people within your course team who will be there with you on your various residentials, and you'll be liaising with those throughout your studies when it comes to course content. But there's also an element of pastoral support available within colleges. How much support do you get from that? We've touched on this a little bit already, but I wonder if just briefly, Nikki, you can kick us off again.
Yeah, so when I go to my college, or when I'm in Cambridge, I tend to meet with my personal tutor. So we talk in general terms about how the course is going, how it is combining work with study, and he's very good as a sort of a sounding board, I would say. And what I do find really helpful actually at Wolfson is the support given by the library. So that is really helpful for research skills and for writing, and I think those are the main two things that I would highlight.
Okay, thank you. Angie, how about you?
My experience has been that there's certainly an opportunity to use your college both for like pastoral and also, as you said, library opportunities or support. And I think it's very much up to each student in terms of how much they make that available to themselves. So I haven't done as much as I could, but it's absolutely there. Your tutor will reach out to you once a year. You have that call, but if you need more, it's absolutely available. And that's always been made very, very clear.
Christina, how are you?
I'm so sorry. I was on a message from my startup colleagues. Could you please repeat the question?
So how much of a relationship do you have with your college tutor and the support they offer, and how do you find that?
Well, again, I've just started, right? So what I can say, what I was really impressed, because we started straight away with a residential in September, and that was kind of like our first touch with the program. I was really very much, I don't know, like I was just so glad to see the level of professors and experts who were giving us lectures and seminars. And I think that those people were really very engaged in what they're doing in psychology and coaching, and also professors from Cambridge from other areas of study, or those who are helping us with our research project. And but again, again, I'll repeat myself, and this is very much the case in Cambridge. Either you're doing a bachelor or a master, or full-time or part-time. It's all about you being proactive. And obviously professors, they will not, go after you asking you, so do you have your research project? Do you have, it's not really the place, right? So they are very, very open to communication, to, your ideas, your questions. They are, they gave us all of their contacts. We've added each other's on LinkedIn. We have their email addresses, and they've been very much communicating the thing that we are here for you, but then we are opening the doors, right? So, and it's up to you to kind of like approach us, which I very much respect, and I think this is the way to be. And but again, a very welcoming community, a community of professionals, experts, just really intelligent people. So I was very, very happy with that.
Great, thank you. And Callum, how about you in terms of the level of, I guess, personal, academic, and pastoral support that you got?
Yes, more of the same. Great pastoral care. I think personally, what I tried to do was keep any queries I had about the course and the work I was studying at Madingley with the people that were delivering the lectures and seminars, and any bugbears or more admin type queries, I would keep that to the college. So I wasn't moaning at the people that are necessarily marking the work. If I had a gripe, that would go more towards the college. But I'd recommend signing up to all the mailing lists that the college has to offer, including the student unions and the different clubs and activities, and receive all those in your inboxes, and it makes it easier for you to manage that time. With one full circle day, you can pick and choose what it is you want to do. Yeah.
Great, thank you. We've got just about 5 minutes left, but I think we've got the perfect question to close with. So this is, could you each describe your experience of studying with the Institute of Continuing Education in 3 words? So I'll give you just a moment to think about that. But then, yeah, if in 3 words, how do you sum up your experience? And obviously, we've got different levels of experience here, all the way from Christina, who's only just relatively started the course, all the way through to Callum, who's completely finished. So it'll be really interesting to see some of your answers. Angie, we'll start with you, if I may.
Yeah, sure. I've had the questions open, so luckily I've looked at that. So I think the first would be rewarding. So it's truly a rewarding experience. I'm studying and enjoying what I'm doing. The second would be curiosity. So again, linked to that. So curiosity for me is really important, and I'm getting to feed my curiosity through what I'm studying. And the third would be inspiring. We have truly, truly inspiring lecturers, and we're able to meet some of the most inspiring thought leaders that are leading some of this work globally. And I think that is such a privilege, both in terms of our professors and lecturers, as well as some of the people that write this work that we're able to be introduced to. And so it would be rewarding, curiosity, and inspiring.
Thank you, Angie. That's set the bar high for everyone else. Nikki, how about your 3 words?
So my first one, I'd probably go for enriching. So, I mean, my dissertation is on a select group of British women in the 18th century. But as part of the course, we had lectures on Mongol settlements in the 12th century, on material culture, the early modern family. I mean, I learned about things that I would never have learnt about otherwise. It was incredible. Uh, my second one would be exciting. So the feeling of going into archives and looking for your own primary sources, holding 18th century letters in your hand is well, unbelievable. And then my third one would be life-changing, because I think I have discovered a passion that I would like to take further.
Thank you very much, Nikki. That's really good to hear. Callum, how about for you? Your 3 words.
Thank you. I'll give it some context, but I think mine would be a small phrase, and just it's a feeling. And what I mean by that is it's no specific thing, but it really is the feeling that you get being in the place and space, the atmosphere, the community, the magic that's created with the people that you can't help but surround yourself with. Whether that's lecturers in-house, guest lecturers that are invited in, and the extracurricular, the things that you inevitably will end up doing. I think all in all, it comes down to a feeling that helps you during the course and many months and years. Certainly for me, and after you've handed in that dissertation. So yes, it's a feeling.
Feeling. Thank you. Christina, how about for you? 3 words to sum up your experience so far.
Well, I should say that I think all of you guys have just summarized it quite well, and not only in 3 words. I think that we've been so very kind of like, open to share our full experience, and I think it's just you can't really summarize it in 3 words. And I think what we've told you here is much more, kind of like informative rather than just putting it in 3 words. But I really liked the thing about magic, and I would say that my main word would be now, and once I'm finished, memorable. For me, and when I look at my fellow students of our cohort, there is really no one there who, as I told you, would be there by chance. My way to reach Cambridge took me 16 years. And that was my dream from when I was a kid. And I'm also a kid of Harry Potter. And obviously, this is a very intellectual program, right? But if I consider this personal level, it's really kind of like magical, and you can't really believe that it's happening to you, and that you're surrounded by all of this magnificent tradition and educational excellence and wonderful, passionate people. So I think that would be my main word. And I don't want to, to repeat the other words like enriching, which it definitely is, or inspiring. So just wanted to add that one. I think it's
I'll accept magical as well. How about that?
good.
So okay, we're pretty much at the end of our time now, but I think that was a nice question to answer on. So I think we've tried our best to answer the broad themes of all the questions that came in. So even though if we didn't quite get to your question, I hope we touched on many of the themes out there. I hope what this session has given you a sense of is that we have people coming to us from different backgrounds, from different lives, with lots of other stuff going on in their lives, but we really try really hard to foster a real sense of learning community. I hope that came across. We really tried our best to enable people to thrive in their studies, and I hope that's come across as well. So I just want to take the time to thank Angie, Callum, Christina and Nikki for taking more time out of their busy lives to come and share their experiences with all of us. And I just want to thank everyone who's attended this event this evening, and I hope you found it informative. Please do, of course, get in touch if you've got any questions. that have been prompted by these discussions, or any more questions that have come up over the course of considering whether you want to apply with us, the email address is questions@ice.can.ac.uk. But I'll leave you all now to the rest of your evenings. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you.